Hello, welcome back to working on our Blackboard Learns, and today we're going to look at how to add some assignments to our module, and we're going to look at how to add assignments in different ways, because some assignments we're going to actually give through Blackboard, where the students will turn it in through Blackboard, and sometimes we give out those handouts in class that aren't necessarily going to be in Blackboard, but we still want to make sure that they get on the calendar and students recognize that they need to be turned in. So let's look at how to do that. So we're going to go to our content area, and here is the content we've been working on. So I've added some stuff since the last video. And we are going to work in Chapter 2, Matter and Change. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that module. So here we have our learning module, Matter and Change, Chapter 1, and we're going to build content, but we're going to build content through adding an assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and click Assessments, and I'm going to choose Assignments. And one of the things we're going to be doing in Chapter 2 is learning how to use the periodic table. So I have a handout called Elements, Elements, and More Elements. And this is simply a handout that they're going to use, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the instructions really quickly, and then I'm going to come back to you. So in the instruction box I have typed, to familiarize yourself with the periodic table and the arrangements of the elements, please complete the attached worksheet. Once you have completed the work, create a digital file and upload the document to the right submission box below. Now our students are going to do this in a variety of ways, and you need to decide how you want this done in your class. For instance, they could print it at home, take a scan of it with their iPad or their iPhone, their smartphone, with an app like TinyScan, and then send that digital into the file below. Or you can have them transfer it to Notability and write on it with Notability, and then send that document back to you through the submission box below. So there are different ways that this can be done, and we need to make sure when we make these assignments, and in each class there's going to have to be a way to monitor how the students are going to upload their files. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to Browse My Computer. And in Browse My Computer, I'm looking for FlipChem PDFs, and actually this document is in a different file. So I'm going to go to Salle, and then go to Smart Notebook, and then we go to Chem's Flipped class, and this is in the FlipChem docs. And we're going to use elements, elements, and more elements. And so there is the document. Now I'm going to make this due on September the 7th, and that will be due at 11:59 p.m. And points possible, this is a 10-point assignment. Again, we're talking about submission details. We can submit it as an individual submission or a group. I have not yet set up groups in my class, so I can't choose that option. They are only going to have one attempt on this. And then I do not want to enable anonymous grading, nor do I want to delegate grading to someone else. I'm going to grade this simply as a score. I'm not going to have a secondary grade like a percent or a letter. And then I want this to be shown in my grades, and when it's going to be available, I'm going to leave it available right from the start. And I do want to track views, and I'm going to go ahead and submit. So here we have that assignment, and once again, as always, I like to see what the students are going to see. So I'm going to go to the student preview. Remember that that's icon that looks like an eyeball up at the upper right, and we get the orange bar telling us we are in student preview. I go to content. Here is the content that they will see, and we put that in learning module for chapter 2. So here's their assignment. Now notice here's the right submission box, and when they open that, they can upload a file, they can attach a document, they can do all the things you can normally do. So you can put this, they can attach a file into this document, or they can simply attach a file from their computer. So there are several ways that they can add that assignment into Blackboard. So this is what the students will see. Once again, here is the document that they are going to open. It is worth 10 points. It is due on Sunday, September 7th. So if I go to exit preview and continue, remember that is the choice not to save anything that we do in the student preview. And I'm going to go over to my calendar now. And looking on my calendar, I'm going to open up September, and recall that we put that in as September the 7th. So I'm going to go ahead and click on September the 7th, and notice here we have this green bar is my chemistry class, the blue bar is my environmental science class. So here is that assignment in the calendar. Edit this assignment in any way, grade it. So we'll talk about that later. But here is the first assignment, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this as is, and I'm going to go back to content, and that would be the first assignment added to Learning Module 2. Now for the second assignment I'm going to add an assignment back into Learning Module 1, and I'm going to add in a handout from dimensional analysis. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Now this handout we're going to actually do in class, but it is going to be scored. So I'm going to actually give them a handout in class that they will work on. And one of the things we're going to do is I want to make sure to create a digital image as well for any students who may miss the class so they can access it at home. So I'm going to put this assignment in as an item. And this item is called dimensional analysis, and it's time, and worksheet to be completed in class, turned in during class time. Okay, so this is a worksheet to be completed in class. It is to be turned in during class time. Now, what you'll notice is when we attach the file, it's just as before. We go to Browse the Computer, and that's this document right here, Dimensional Analysis Time. So I'm going to add that document. So again, I'm doing this as a digital even though I'm handing this out in class, because any students who may miss the class, or a student who may want to practice again, or a student who may have lost theirs, can access it at home. So we can track the number of views. I'm not going to worry about when to put it up. We're not going to change the dates of when it's available. Now, there is no setting here to put a date that it's due. So we're going to talk about how to add that to the calendar in just a bit. So when I go to submit, I get an item. Now this item is simply an item. It doesn't say any due dates, no points, and when we go to the student preview, again there's the orange bar. I'm in the student preview, content, and I come down here to the learning module 1 where we just put that, and there is the Sophia playlist that they will have to do. But here is the object or item we just created, dimensional analysis time. So when they open that up, it doesn't come up like an assignment. Remember, on the assignment you get the score and the date due in that box at the top. So they're still going to have this available to them even though we gave it to them in class. So here's what we're going to do. Exit preview, continue, and we're going to go to content. So we're in Learning in Module 1. We know that that's where the item is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the calendar. And I'm going to actually add something to the calendar telling students that that handout was due in class, or that anyone who takes it at home and prints it at home knows that they have to turn it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to September 3rd, which is the scheduled date that we will take that, and I'm going to choose that date, and I'm going to come over here to plus, create new event, and I'm going to say dimensional analysis handout, or that was called time handout, and it's in my chemistry honors class, and it is going to be on September the 3rd. So I'm going to go ahead and put that, and the time really doesn't matter, but you can put a time if you wish, but it is just to remind students that you gave it out in class and that it is something that is due. And here we go, handout completed in class. Oh, got a little heavy on my little finger there with the O. Handout completed in class. And that's just a reminder, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. And when I save, notice that it adds that to my calendar. That will also be added to the student's calendar for whoever is enrolled in that class. So when I open that, I get that same information. So that is a way to add any assignments that you do not have uploaded through Blackboard, any of those extra assignments that you give in class, worksheets, whatever you may have, to get them on to the calendar. So I hope this was helpful in looking at two ways to get assignments into Blackboard, but also to make sure that they are on the calendar, and can keep working on your Blackboard.